So to work on the Corpo de Baile in La Sylphide, you have a difference between the first and second act, because the first act is based on a traditional Irish dance, but of course characterized for ballet, and it has men and women dancing. Because the women are usually more used to doing Corpo de Baile work like they have in the second act, which is a white act. It's always a bit more difficult to get the guys as a group to dance, but usually they do what I tell them to do. And then also because the reel is only the big dance of the whole first act, it gives a statement, so it needs to be done properly so that everybody is together, the arms are in the right height, they're in line, they're musical. All the upper body work is important for the reel because it's more traditional of the character dance. Compared to the second act, because it's a white act and it's more softer, because it's, how to say, they're sylphs, so they're more the creatures of the forests, nymphs. So it has to be softer. The style is different because it's softer, but it has a special style because of Bournonville. So to work with them, it is really nice, because then after the work that I've done, you can see that, especially in the second act, you see that the girls start to breathe as a group. They dance as a group. So then it moves as a group. And for the public, it's really nice to see, because then the Corpo de Baile complements the principals who are dancing. To see if the Corpo de Baile is important for the public, it depends also of the level of knowledge of the public. Some people who have more knowledge of ballet, they can see if the technique is good or not, but the majority of the public can always see if a Corpo de Baile, if they're dancing together. Because if they're not dancing together, even as a non-ballet background, you can see that, okay, they're not together, or the arms are not at the same height. So for me, it's important to get that, so that everybody in the public can see that they move together. And especially if you have a company like ours, where we don't have the same type of girls. We have tall ones, short ones. So to adapt to that, it is a challenge, but I think I managed it, so it's nice to see. And then again, it complements what else is happening on stage. So to prepare my work because of the touring, to see what kind of stages we're gonna have, because some stages are bigger or smaller, to adapt the Corpo de Baile, it's usually, for the second act, it is easier because there are less people on stage. And then the only thing that I usually have to see is from which wing they need to come from, if it's from higher or lower. Is that in the first act it's more difficult because it's a bigger group of people and the stage is smaller because of the scenery that we have. So I already usually make a plan B or C and a D in the worst case scenario if I have to take people out, if there's really no space, because especially in the reel you have one point that everybody is in one line, and if that cannot happen, I need to adapt the choreography in a way that it still looks good, that the public doesn't realize, but we don't lose anything of the original dance. Fortunately, we did not have to do that until now. So it's and because the second act has less people, it is easier adaptable, and I know for sure I will never have to take girls out. So.